Everybody, it's Saturday evening. I've decided I'm gonna do another quick video here. Just rain, big rain, still a little drizzling. I wanted to come out for a walk. My wife is at the funeral of her friend, and I just got a haircut. I was walking by, forgot I needed a haircut. Saw my barber was available, and I quick jumped in. And he gave me a shave. Well, not a shave, but he cut my hair. I said I forgot money. Can I give it to him tomorrow? He played around with me a little bit and then he said fine. They know my wife very well. She stops in all the time. But yeah, I just wanted to, the rain, this is one of the things that sucks about the city blocks here, street. The concrete is, becomes like ice, very slippy. My shoes have zero traction, zero. They're completely bald, but that's how I bought them. You know, they're running short shoes, but it makes it really difficult to walk after it rains here because it's like walking on glass. So anyway, I guess that's one of the. So it's where I wear other shoes normally when I'm walking out here, but I regret that I came out now because it's just so annoying to be walking on this like this. It's a little dangerous. I'm slipping everywhere. You can't even run on it. It's actually better to be walking in the street. Anyway, I'll check you out later. Oh, I remembered what I was going to say. So I was putting together my week 26 video clips, and one of the places I'd like to go to do some video is a cafe on the corner where I could get my buy one get one free cappuccino or latte, and the street noise is just awful. I'm gonna have to stop. I'm gonna have to experiment with a mic and in a plug-in mic that I have to see if that helps. But if that doesn't improve it, I won't be able to do any video clips there, any talks, or give any updates anymore because the background noise of the traffic is just too much. Even this on the street, I think is going to be too much for the video, and I don't have the editing software to be able to drown out the background noise. So yeah, that was the point I was going to make while I'm trying to keep from falling here on a very wet road in very wet sidewalk in Bangkok. Hey, look at that. I'm at the end of my walk and I come upon that beautiful rainbow up there, and it's good timing because I just walked past the guy taking a total dump. Pants down, shirt off, pants down into a drain in the middle of the street. Right there, right roadside. I mean, you can't miss them. So really, first time actually I've ever seen anything like that here. But this is a nice ending to the 26th, ending of the 26th week out of 30 remaining. Nice big rainbow over there. I haven't been out many times, enough times after a rain to see that. It's been a while, but yeah, look at that. It looks like it's ending right at the park up at the end of the street. All right, everybody, take care. God bless. Take it slow. Morning, everybody. Let me quick change my hands here. I want to quick do an intro to week 25 and my countdown to the end of the year and my countdown to early retirement. This is an important time marker because we are officially halfway through the year with week 25 out of 52 weeks remaining. So how did I get there? Halfway through the year, 52 divided by 2 is 26. So 25 would be the second half of the year. Am I right? Sounds right. Anyway, It is the 29th of June, 2025, and only one more day remaining. It's a Sunday morning. I have the gym to myself. My wife just finished. She gets up early so she can get ready for church, but she comes down to the gym for half an hour, does a little bit of cardio, and then I do my devotionals while she's down here, and then she goes up and gets ready, and then I come down and do just a little bit of cardio in the morning, get my blood moving. I like to do my devotionals first, because usually I'll be watching some devotional videos. But today I'm looking at 1 Chronicles 21 and 22, and David's sinful census. So David gets full of himself, and he decides to tell one of his chief captains, Joab, to go out and do a census of all the land from Beersheba to Dan. So basically Israel and Judah. And Joab tells him, this isn't a good idea. Why do you want to do that? And I think it was because David just got full of himself. He wanted to count how great he was, how many mighty men he had ready to fight at his will. And the Lord did not like this. And Joab came back with a count, but then it said it wasn't complete because Joab was disgusted with this, and he said it was an abomination to the Lord. After this partial census, David had many millions and millions of men, and then David, as short as the story is, David was convicted, and he asked God to forgive him, and God forgave him, but he was very unhappy with this. And the story for me here is, and this is convicting me somewhat. It is convicting me. We can get too comfortable and too secure in our own numbers, and our own might. Of the CEO who's got hundreds of chains of restaurants or hundreds of chains of businesses or big businesses, and you're looking at the revenue, and sometimes we see these rankings of billionaires and men around the globe. The ranking of who's the wealthiest, who's got the most power, and we're putting our confidence in our numbers, confidence in our own power and our pride, and it affects our pride. And this affected David's pride. And how this is affecting me is I have to be careful because I like finance, and I've become very interested in personal finance. So I do watch my numbers pretty regularly. My portfolio, for example, I do calculate my expenses, and watch my net worth go up over time. I do be careful. I am careful with my bank account, but I have to be careful that I'm not putting all of my security in those numbers. It's fun and interesting to watch, but I got to be careful it doesn't consume me to the point that it becomes my God, and it becomes I start looking at myself as self-reliant. I know yesterday I was talking about the Bolden software that I use to calculate my success probability for early retirement, given my expenses. And with the market going up, the probability is going up. But God gives and He takes away, and I got to be really careful. I have to draw a line between being interested and responsible with what God has given me, with the actual number itself and feeling secure in that's going to be what takes care of me. I got to be really careful with that, and I don't know how this might impact you, but it's hitting me that I just have to be careful with this, that I don't let my portfolio consume me so much that gives me a false sense of security. My only security is in God. It's not in my portfolio. David repented, and I do repent regularly. I ask God to forgive me and to not let that take over me, not take over my thoughts and my worries. And then I will, God says He will provide. And later in some of the verses in Chronicles 2, He does say, seek the Lord, and the Lord will provide everything we need. And that's what I need to do. That's the most important thing. The other thing I read this morning was Acts 9. And basically this is the birth, if you will, or the second birth, the spiritual birth of the greatest missionary to ever exist, Paul. Saul became Paul. Can you imagine, Saul's name is first mentioned at the death of one of the disciples, one of the followers of Jesus, Stephen, or Stephen, whichever you want to call it. It was the first mention of Saul, and he was basically responsible for it. And then he led the greatest persecution on what was called the Way, or the Christians at the time. And Saul went and asked for permission from the highest of the religious, from the highest priests of the Jews, to persecute the church, to go out and murder. He was murdering and persecuting the church. He got permission from the church to do this. Here these priests thought that Jesus went away. They thought they killed him, but they made it worse. He grew. The followers grew. And that's what happens with truth. Truth cannot be quieted. You can try to quiet it, but you can't. People want to seek truth. People who want to seek truth will find truth. And so Saul got the permission, and he was on his way to destroy. He was on his rampage, and he thought he was doing right. He thought he was doing the godly thing. He was seeking God with all of his heart. Well, at least all of his mind. Let's put it that way, all of his mind. But he was so intent on serving God, he thought he was doing the right thing. And he realized, and it wasn't until God intervened and said, Saul, why are you kicking at the goads? Hold up, kicking at the goads. I won't go into it, but I understand what that term means. That has to do with kicking horses to get them to move, or kicking oxen to get them to work. So Paul says, who are you, Lord? What's wrong? And then Jesus revealed himself and told him to go into the city and wait there for 3 days. So he waited there 3 days to be, he was blinded. He waited there 3 days, and then Ananias came and prayed over him, removed the blindness. And then the next day, Saul started preaching Jesus in the temples. I can't imagine what the priests were thinking. What the just happened? This guy came to us. He was on a murderous rampage. He was doing everything we wanted. He was the up and coming priest amongst us. I mean, very high skilled, high scholared, highly educated. This guy just, what was it, a day? What was it, a week later? They find out that he's in the temple preaching the very person that he intended to squash, or they tried to squash. Jeez, I can't imagine. I wish I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall to watch their reaction to that. But anyway, yeah, probably the greatest missionary ever to, I don't know if he's called an apostle. I'm not sure when, I think apostles were people who didn't follow Jesus, but were in that next generation of followers of Jesus. I think that's what apostles are. He wasn't a disciple because he didn't know Jesus himself personally, at least in this physical realm. So yeah, that was the message for this morning. I need to be careful that I don't put strength in my own portfolio, in my own skills, in my own cleverness, because I'm a fool. I'm a fool compared to the wisdom of God and what God has planned for my wife and I and our family. But I am excited. We're in the second half of the year. Let's get this, I'm excited to move forward, do the best for the organization that I work for, finish up, and that basically means it's really less than 5 months remaining. 6 months remaining in the year, but with all my leave and all the holidays, and it's really less than 5 months of work. So I'm really excited about this, and I was also looking at, we want to take Da's family to the beach after the wedding, and I'm looking at hotels there. We're going to go to one of the islands, but we decided we're just going to go to Hua Hin. I think it would be easier. It's going to be easier, and the beach is the beach. It doesn't matter where you are. The beach is the beach. But her mother will be with us. I just think it would be easier now. Some kids might be coming, and it looks like for the price to get to Hua Hin versus the cost to get to one of the islands, closer islands, and the ease of getting there, the Hua Hin looks like a much better, easier option. And the hotels you get more bang for your buck, at least what I can see from the hotels. Much nicer hotels on the in Hua Hin. And I thought by trying to rent a large room, large family style hotel room, it would be cheaper, and it's looking like it's cheaper just to rent 2 rooms. And I kind of like that, you know. At first I was thinking five or 6 people, you know, 4 adults and 2 kids in the room together. That might be a little bit too much. So then I'm looking into the rooms, and I'm like, we can get 2 nice rooms for probably about 30% cheaper than a large room. So we'll probably go with that. I was just concerned about her family staying in a room by themselves. I mean, they don't know the city that well, and not that they don't know the city. I don't know how comfortable they would feel being alone. You know, they're coming from rural South jungle part of Laos, so not very sophisticated people. And and I don't mean that pejoratively. I mean that they just are not familiar with a lot of modernalities and just being alone. So I think I'm going to be booking that so that we can get that booked in, good price, and then just count on the fact that we're going to be going there after the wedding. So good things coming. I'm looking forward to it. I have a staff workshop that we're planning this month in Chiang Mai, and then I need to I'm the focal point for fraud and corruption training and other things in our organization. I've been for many years. I'm a certified fraud examiner, and I just finished actually a certification in fraud risk management program, implementing a fraud risk management program. I need to post that on LinkedIn. But I'm really happy I did that. It didn't take as long as I expected. It was only about an hour for each unit, so about 6 hours in total. So I'm going to So I'm happy to have that. I don't know what that means moving forward. If I'm going to be retired at the end of the year, what does all this professional experience mean for me going into retirement? I don't know. But I hope there's something that's going to be that's going to come from all this training and experience. All right, I'm going to finish up. Wow, that's already 17 minutes walking. I didn't expect to be talking this long. I'm really a talker, I think, sometimes. So I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna make a coffee to take to church in my little canteen, and then read my devotional from Charles Stanley for the day. And I'm also reading a Christian book called Live No Lies. It's really good. It's really deep. I think the guy's last name is Comer. But I read a book from him before. It was really good. It was much better than I expected. And I think I got it for free. It's on my Kindle. So it was like a mail-in, or I got it for a very discounted price. But that's what I'm doing. And anyway, I'll end it there. I think I've just been talking for 18 minutes. All right, take care, God bless, and take it slow. It's Sunday afternoon, but we've got a huge wind and storm coming in. Listen to the window shake from this wind. I'm just putting some videos together. Listen to this window shake from this wind. I don't know if that's good. Look at it, it's a big storm coming in. I was about to go out to the pool to get some sun, but I saw this coming in, and it's just, there's no way. And I'm not even sure, listen to that. We don't get winds that heavy that often. So it's quite alarming, especially since we had the earthquake back in March. You often wonder when's the next one, because it's startling. My wife's at church right now, but this means if it rains like this, the sidewalk's going to be too wet for me to walk, because the only sneakers I have are the ones with no teeth on it, and it's just like walking on ice out there. Hopefully it will dry up. Usually they don't last very long, but this is a pretty massive rainstorm coming in. And I sit by the window, and I love being home during these times. It's just it's that earthquake experience that kind of makes things startling. Anyway, I thought you would want to listen to the rattle on the windows here, because that's a very strong storm coming in, and it came in pretty quick. Very creepy.